How many of you guys have heard the term unknown? That you have to get comfortable with the unknown. All things magical beyond your belief will come from the unknown. Synchronicities and coincidences will come from the unknown. How did you start your spiritual journey? Was it from a podcast, someone you know? Was it a book you read that inspired you? Good morning, guys. 44 degrees this morning in Texas. Very cold. So, I talked about the dark night of the shadow, one of the phases that we go through. I wanted to talk about a different aspect of that phase, which is just getting pushed into the unknown for a very good reason, for a very good lesson. Lesson that the Yoganandas, the masters of the Far East, Michael Singer, especially Michael Singer, when he talks about the surrender experiment. Surrender to what? Exactly, surrender to the unknown. You know? Most of his life that he captured on the book, The Surrender Experiment, was about trusting that no matter what happens, it's going to be good for him in some way. And Bashar talks about this. He says that if you truly believe that no matter what happens to you, it's going to be good for you because there's a lesson in it. So what does it matter? What happens? What does it matter? Now, this is a lot easier said than done. When you initially get into this phase of the awakening, initially you might be going to the retreats, you might be reading a lot of books, you might be following a lot of people, you might be taking in a lot of the meditations from other people that are offering it for free. I'm going to upload a meditation for you guys on YouTube sometime today. So enjoy. So you start to do that, and then you start to feel the high, right? If all these beautiful things starts to happen to you in meditations, mystical experiences, out-of-body experiences, the Kundalini goes to your head, all that good stuff. You become magnetic, you cleanse your aura, all this. And then you enter the phase where the identity you thought was you when you started the journey is like a shirt that no longer fits you. And you have no idea what fits anymore. The interests you used to have no longer interest you. The topics you used to really talk about, you don't want to talk about anymore. The relationships and friendships become challenging, more complicated. You might have felt really good about the awakening, and then the painful periods begin within the unknown. And there's a very deep lesson in it. And the deep lesson is, can you stay comfortable throughout this phase and trust that you will be guided? Now, if you do get very comfortable with this, if you just flow with it, things will sort of happen for you. And the best example I can think of is the Michael Singer's book, where there's one thing after another, coincidences after coincidences, that led him to such beautiful experiences of life. I believe he's still in that experiment, because why not? You just stick to the unknown and you're driven towards your purpose, and you're guided, you're helped, you're supported. And there will always be people that will just fall out, fall away. They will not resonate with you. They'll move on. The lesson here is, do you trust your higher self? Do you trust the universe? And that's the confusing part of this, really trusting the unknown here. You become very sensitive to pain. This is the phase where, imagine you turn the light on or you let the sunlight in, and the things that you didn't even see inside of you will be illuminated. You'll be able to suddenly see the things. You'll have to face everything that you have ignored, you have pushed down, all your beliefs, traumas, and you have to see them without falling back into your old patterns, without falling back into your old identity. You have to see them with love, and everything that is not love will slowly fall away. Your ego loses control. Your mind goes crazy because mind is looking for habits, predictability, routines, and suddenly in this phase it all falls apart. Routines fall apart, everything falls apart. And so the mind is very confused. Mind is looking for the smallest hints of the old identity, the old routine, something that it can grab onto because it might feel unsafe. And your job is to keep your heart open, keep your state of being relaxed and in the trust so that the mind can relax into it eventually. And when the ego death happens, it makes you very silent. Because you used to gossip maybe, used to judge, used to get angry, used to get annoyed, right? Used to complain, used to discuss things that don't matter, right? Politics, sports. The way you eat will change. The way you interact with people changes. You start to feel deeper and deeper emotions. I know so many people that are on this journey, including the people that I contact through social media. And they're a mess. They're in this phase. They're a mess. They're not happy about anything in life. They just feel like they're constantly being thrown tests. And they're not being thrown anything. Everything that wasn't love inside of them has been illuminated, has been brought to the forefront, to be removed. The old identity that no longer fits you is falling apart. The old life patterns, the fractal patterns in the universe that designed and created your life is falling apart, so that the new life can have space. You know, I used to be very, very spontaneous, just like I am these days, but it takes a whole new meaning. One day I'm sitting there talking to my brother, and he says, you know, it would be so nice if you lived closer here in Texas. Why don't you come down to Texas? We'll go hunting. I'll explore Texas with you. And if you like it enough, you might just consider staying here. And within less than a week, I just threw everything in my car and drove down to Texas. And that was it. My friends think that that's crazy, but I've always been this crazy. But this time, when I was driving, I had no plans. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Doesn't matter. But I'm going to go to Texas. New life, new chapters, new adventures. Let's just start over. Maybe I'll stay in Texas for a few years. Maybe I'll move to Montana afterwards. Who knows? Here's another thought. I was thinking that sometime next year I'll remove these seats and I'll turn this thing temporarily into a tiny home, and I'll drive to Alaska for summer. Wouldn't that be something? I'm a simple guy. I don't have much. Doesn't take much to make me happy. That's what I've been thinking. I wanted to just go across the country. And this is a 7-seater car, so there's plenty of room here for me. So I was thinking maybe in the summer I'll drive down to Utah, Arizona, Montana, Alaska, Colorado, and just one adventure after another, right? Bruce Lipton says every time you do something new, you are epigenetically turning on and off new genes. You are unlocking the dormant portions of you, dormant parts of you. Not only that, if you're doing new things, new adventures, finding new purposes, meeting new people, and you're doing the work, you slow down your aging. You can technically slow down your aging permanently, like the masters of the Far East have achieved, you know. There's a lot of examples in the Far East, and a very few in the Yogananda's autobiography of people that just don't age anymore. But those are the masters, right? Maybe, you know what? I'm sure we're going to all be masters one day, but how long is that going to take? Who knows? And it doesn't matter how long that's going to take, because we're eternal divine being. So there's no rush. We're all going to be there at some point. The fact that we're here, we have come a long way, right? We have come to, most people that are doing the work are apparently on 4 or 4.5, moving into the 5th dimension and higher. So the fact that we have come to 4 and higher, it's a pretty big achievement. We overcame 1, we overcame 2, 3, 4, 5, and just move forward. Keep moving forward. Spread the love. Bless people. There's nothing else to do. There's a lot of confusion in this phase. And the fact that there's a lot of confusion in this phase gives you an opportunity to try new things. You get to a place where you're like, there's nothing to lose almost. There's nothing to lose. Everything starts to fall apart. Your career might be taken away from you. And the lesson is, right, stop getting attached to things. There are these deep lessons in this phase. Trust the unknown. Stop getting attached. Stop controlling everything. Let your higher self come through you. Connect to the infinite mind so that the universe has an easier and easier avenue to reveal its secrets to you. For example, I can never sleep between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Even if I'm laying in bed the whole 2 hours, I'm just up. The beings wake me up. They'll start making noises. They'll scare me sometimes, it's so loud. When I wake up, sometimes, they'll actually touch me. Sometimes they'll reveal themselves and I'll be able to see them standing there in my room. And sometimes they'll take me places and reveal things to me. They'll show things to me. They'll actually take me through a mystical experience. All these things happen regularly between 3 and 5 a.m. And after that, I'll go back to sleep. And I'm always up at 6. Just my eyes open. There's this beautifulness to this routine. And then I have my morning routine, then I have my evening routine. So at least I have some new routines that I have established, which helps with this, right? With the meditations. After my morning coffee, I'm going to meditate for a little bit before I go hiking. And I'm going to set up some meditations with my community, my friends, for this upcoming week, because I just let everybody alone while I was here, and there was Thanksgiving, but we'll get back on the horse and we'll start meditating. What do you guys think about this phase? Are you in this phase? Are you past this phase? And if you are, what are some of the frustrating things that you have experienced? How did you overcome them? Are you still in it? Make sure there are people that you can contact that will give you a safe space and non-judgmental ears to listen to and give you some insights if they have been through that or not. If you wish, ask me more questions. I'll set up a follow-up, because there's a lot of people going through this. A lot of people that I've been to these retreats with that are going through this, and they have all been instructed not to go to retreats anymore until it all integrates and settles down. And besides, every teacher has some things to teach you, right? You don't have the same teachers in middle school teaching high schools, right? We don't have the same teachers in elementary teaching middle school kids. Every teacher has just a few things to teach you. You grab onto that, and then you move on to the next guru, the next teacher, the next person that you feel like has anything to tell you that you would like to take on, integrated within you, and then you move forward to the next teacher. That's how I have always been. My first mentor was Tai Lopez, who taught me the importance of reading books. He made me fall in love with reading books. That changed my life. Then I went through Jim Rohn, and then I went through Dr. Wayne Dyer, then I went through Eckhart Tolle, then I went through Alan Watts, yes. And then I just kept going on and on until I ran into Dr. Joe Dispenza. Then I found out that he used to do retreats with Greg Braden and Bruce Lipton, so I wanted to know what Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden had to tell me. But I always get obsessed with one teacher at a time, so I can really become a sponge and take in all that they have to offer. And then when I integrate all this information from all these teachers, what then happens is that I have created my flavor of everything in combination, right? And then I offer those collectively to people. Similarly with Abraham Hicks, Dolores Cannon, Bashar, Michael Singer. And then I offer what I'm going through. I promised you guys I'm going to capture my entire journey. And this journey, while it is a spiritual journey, it's going to have a lot of other adventures, including that I'm thinking that I'm going to do a North America drive after I turn this thing into a house. That'll be cool. I'm excited. Okay, guys, keep doing the work. Don't get disheartened. Don't lose your mind. It's easier said than done. This phase is very tough. I'm watching my friends go through these, that have only been to, one or two retreats, but then they surrendered so much. It was so easy for them to surrender that they just they popped and they fell right into this phase, and this phase has been going on for months and months and months for them. So, but I talk to them regularly. Make sure if you're in this phase that you have at least two people that you can reach out to whenever you need to. Okay? Take care. Happy holidays. Love you.